Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and today, Friday, very important day just because tomorrow and the next week we have a couple super interesting matches, a couple super interesting games because we are playing against the two most direct rivals in the fight for La Liga. I'm talking about Real Sociedad and I'm talking about Atletico de Madrid as well. Tomorrow, for example, we are playing against Real Sociedad, one of the most powerful and strong contenders in the fight for La Liga. As you know, they have 29 points. We are 7 points ahead, which is good. But of course, if we are able to win tomorrow, it's going to be great because that difference might be 10 points, which is of course almost unachievable for Real Sociedad. That is the first thing, number one. And number two, in 4 or 5 days we are playing against Atletico de Madrid, who is alongside Real Sociedad the other important contender in the fight for La Liga. And same thing, if we are able to win Atletico de Madrid, in my opinion, that will be a kind of slam on the table, so we can, be closer than ever to win the trophy of La Liga. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to be over if we are able to win Real Sociedad and Atletico de Madrid, but of course it's gonna be much more closer for us because right now we are in January and there is still a long way to go and all the stuff. But to me, it is very important for us to be able to win both games, or at least one game and another draw or something like that. Maybe 6 or 4 points are crucial to keep top in the standings and keep the distance with Real Sociedad and Atletico de Madrid. So that's why tomorrow and the next day against Atletico de Madrid, the next week, I think it's going to be very, very important for us. Two very important games. So now, as far as the game tomorrow, Carlo Ancelotti has shown up in the press conference and has been talking about a lot of stuff regarding to Real Madrid, and that is something I wanted to let you know because he was speaking about the last biography of Kylian Mbappe, and of course he said something really interesting. But for now, I'm gonna focus just in the game tomorrow against Real Sociedad. First thing I have for you all, guys, is pretty much tomorrow, the starting 11, the lineup. I mean, the squad list is going to be released in about an hour or something like that, so I will share it with you as well. But tomorrow, as far as the lineup, let me tell you, I'm expecting to see not many different faces, right? So only the new faces we might see in the lineup tomorrow might be the ones who are, replacing other players that are so tired, like Casemiro and all the stuff. But let me tell you what, after listening to Carlo Ancelotti in the press conference, I'm not expecting so many changes. I'm not expecting for Casemiro or Toni Kroos or Luka Modric to rest tomorrow, because from my understanding, what Carlo Ancelotti wants to do is pretty much to get the 3 points against Real Sociedad and Atletico de Madrid and then give him some rest. But in order for us to get the 3 points, of course, we have to utilize the best players that we have on our side, and that means Casemiro, Kroos and Luka Modric have to be there in the midfield of Real Madrid. So I'm not expecting almost any change, and if so, we might see maybe Lucas Vázquez instead of Asensio, instead of Rodrigo, maybe Carvajal, something like that, right? But not the kind of change like, okay, I'm going to revolutionize everything and I'm going to line up to Camavinga instead of Toni Kroos or Luka Modric, and then Antonio Blanco instead of Casemiro. In my opinion, that is not going to happen. But let me tell you what, more bad news. Casemiro already has 4 yellow cards. That means if tomorrow he sees another yellow card, if he is booked with another card, he might miss the game against Atletico de Madrid, which is of course the next one most important for Los Madridistas. So that is pretty much what is going on right now for our side, for the team tomorrow against Real Sociedad. And now let me move on and talk about what Carlo Ancelotti said in the press conference, and I'm gonna highlight 3 different names which in my opinion was the most outstanding thing he said or about. During the press conference, Carlo Ancelotti was talking about, for example, Eden Hazard. He was asked about, okay, how is he doing? Is he better? Will he be able to make it tomorrow, maybe the next day, stuff like that. And he said, Carlo Ancelotti responded to that saying, Eden Hazard right now is 100% ready to go. I mean, he's ready to play and he will be available for the next games, which means that Eden Hazard, although all the criticism, all the rumors speculating with the possibility for Carlo Ancelotti to keep the player all the time on the bench, just waiting for his next departure in January, Carlo Ancelotti, in my opinion, if he sees an opportunity for Eden Hazard to play tomorrow, he probably give him some minutes or something like that. That doesn't mean though he will play for sure, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not hinting at all Carlo Ancelotti is thinking in re-utilize again to Eden Hazard or give him another kind of second chance so he can reverse the situation and overturn the thing with the Vinicius Jr. and all this stuff. But in my opinion, as long as Carlo Ancelotti have players like Eden Hazard or even Isco Alarcón, he's not the kind of coach who is thinking all the time in punish or discipline these players just because they are out of shape or something like that. I mean, I think if Carlo Ancelotti have these players available, then if he considers the game is recommending him to put him on, to put him on the field, he will probably do it, right? So it's not the kind of coach that it's like Solari, for example, when he said to Isco Alarcón, you won't ever play again in Real Madrid as long as you keep this weight. This weight because he was overweight, right? So that is not the kind of coach, right? So I'm thinking Hazard might have some minutes, but that doesn't mean he's going to have another second chance to reverse the situation and finally convince to Los Madridistas that he's ready to go and he's ready to succeed in Real Madrid. To me, that kind of train man already passed and is not going to get back, right? So, it's available and he will be available, of course, and Carlo Ancelotti confirmed his shape right now is a little bit better, right? But I don't think anything is going to change when it comes to Eden Hazard. And the second thing he was talking about, okay, so as you probably have noticed over the last 3-4 weeks, Camavinga has come to a complete kind of stop in Real Madrid, right? His progression, he hasn't have the kind of evolution of a player who already who started in the beginning of the season like crushing it, scoring goals, and doing a lot of great stuff during the game and all the stuff, and all the people going crazy about him and all the kind of things, And for now, over the last 3-4 weeks, he has lost a lot of bright, right? And right now is pretty much on the bench all the time, and that is responding to a kind of situation that Carlo Ancelotti has had with Camavinga, and it is pretty much he has to taught Camavinga, he has to told Camavinga, okay, this is Real Madrid, man, and this is not the anarchy, right? This is not the chaos. As long as you are a Real Madrid player, what you have to do is pretty much to stick to the plan and don't go crazy, don't do crazy things, because if I say do this, just do this, right? And that happened in the game against, I can't remember right now, but that happened in one of the Champions League games or something like that. Right after the game, Carlo Ancelotti and Camavinga, according to the rumors, newspapers and media, they had a kind of talk and they were talking about that. And for some people, it was kind of, that Ancelotti punishing or disciplining to Camavinga, but it's pretty much something that he told him. So, in a way to guide him through or what to play for Real Madrid is like, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to show Camavinga the right way to go in Real Madrid. It's pretty much that, right? So what he said, Carlo Ancelotti, this morning when he was asked about Casemiro and if there is any kind of replacement, substitute for Casemiro, Benzema, Modric and stuff, he responded, players like, I quote here, players like Antonio Blanco or Camavinga are so young, they are full energy, full passion, and sometimes you have to stop them a little bit so they work and they play a little bit more with the brain. You know what I'm saying? A kind of more brainy thing, right? It's not about passion, it's not about youth, it's not about energy, because they have plenty of that, right? But it's just about strategy, tactics, and things that they have to keep learning and understanding as the time goes by, right? So in my opinion, that is exactly what happened. But I don't think at all that Carlo Ancelotti has had any kind of beef or problem with Camavinga for him to keep him all the time on the bench, right? So it's the kind of evolution every single young player when he comes to Real Madrid has to have in Real Madrid if he wants to succeed in Los Blancos, right? So, but I don't think there's anything else or any kind of beef or drama or something like that. And then the third thing he was talking about, it was of course Kylian Mbappe. He was asked about this comic biography that Kylian Mbappe has authorized to a author to write about him and his life and his dreams when he was a kid and all this stuff. And he was asked about the chapter or paragraph when Kylian Mbappe says that he wants to play for Real Madrid because it's a dream come true. And Ancelotti was asked about that, and Carlo Ancelotti said every single kid, every single child should be able to accomplish, to achieve, to fulfill his dreams. So it was pretty much okay. I mean, it's like saying, okay, if he wants to fulfill this dream, what he has to do is to come to Real Madrid, right? So that is pretty much the interpretation all the journalists have had right after the press conference, and now every single thing is going viral, sometimes out of context. I mean, right now social media is burning literally with this thing that he said about Kylian Mbappe. But in my opinion, what is happening right now in Real Madrid, and not only in Real Madrid but also in Kylian Mbappe, is pretty much they don't think they have to keep hiding from this situation. What they have to do is pretty much to talk about that and just to deal with the thing in the more natural way possible. I mean, they have to sound natural, they have to be natural and all the stuff. It is probably something Al-Khelaifi doesn't like, right? But we're okay with that, and we really don't care what Al-Khelaifi can think about that, because it's just 1 month ahead for Kylian Mbappe to sign a new contract with Real Madrid, right? So I don't think it's a big deal, man. He said that in the more natural way possible. I mean, he's not trying to pose or something like that. It's Carlo Ancelotti, man. Well, I mean, it's super natural, right? And he said that in a very respectful way. So I don't think that this guy is going to be super mad at Real Madrid. Well, let me tell you what. I mean, at the end of the video, we'll be talking about what is expecting from Real Madrid to happen from Qatar. So, but I mean, this is another story, different story. But anyways, I'm okay with that. I'm super happy to hear Carlo Ancelotti talking that way about Kylian Mbappe. And of course, I'm pretty sure in 1 month we will see Kylian Mbappe signing for Real Madrid. So let me move on now and talk about the plan B allegedly Real Madrid has in case the signing of Erling Haaland fails. In case Erling Haaland, his signing fails for Real Madrid and he finally doesn't end to playing for Real Madrid has apparently looked for another way and has found another replacement or substitute for Erling Haaland, which is Karim Adeyemi. As you know, Adeyemi is the German player. He's crushing it right now in Salzburg because he has scored so far this season 15 goals in 25 games, which is good. He's a player who is 19 years old, super young guy, and he's worth in 20 million euros, which is nothing for Real Madrid. So the move from Real Madrid, that would be the same Borussia Dortmund did last year with Erling Haaland, is pretty much to sign him from Salzburgo, which is and the reason for that is because it's super cheap right now. So you can get a super amazing player for as low as 20 million euros, which is nothing for Real Madrid, and it's still, I mean, it's a goaler, it's a crack, it's a great player. So I think Real Madrid might have this guy in the loop, but only in case that Erling Haaland signings fails, right? That is something we don't know yet. Apparently, the latest information that we have regarding to Erling Haaland, as you know, is that he already has chosen to Real Madrid for playing the next year. So let's see what happens. And now let me move on and talk about maybe and arguably the most important news that Jose Felix Diaz brought in today, just because within Real Madrid, maybe Florentino Perez, the board members and all the people within Real Madrid are expecting a kind of retaliation from Qatar and Paris Saint-Germain because of Kylian Mbappe and his more than likely possible signing for Real Madrid next January, right? So you're probably wondering what kind of retaliation, Qatar, PSG might implement or try against Real Madrid. Okay, let me tell you what, the most important or the most harmful move Paris Saint-Germain or Qatar can do right now is try to sign a Real Madrid player, right? And hijack a Real Madrid player or steal a Real Madrid player, one of the most important, one of the most strongest, or one of the most, I don't know, whatever. But the problem for Paris Saint-Germain and Qatar and all the stuff is pretty much all the Real Madrid players right now are so happy playing for Real Madrid, and there's no chance for us, there's no chance for them to be able to hijack any player from Real Madrid, because the most important one right now is Vinicius Jr. and Vinicius Jr. wants to end his career in Real Madrid, and he's not even thinking about to go out and find another possible team or something like that, because he said he fell in love with Real Madrid when he was a kid. He was looking forward to playing Real Madrid. He has fulfilled his dream to play in Real Madrid, and for no means whatsoever he will go out and find another team to play in, right? So it's almost impossible. So which player might PSG hijack or steal to Real Madrid? It is not only from the first team, but also from the second team, from Real Madrid Castilla. Marvel, Park, we have a bunch of players there, Sergio Arribas, Blanco, Miguel Gutierrez. There are a bunch of players that might be in the loop of Paris Saint-Germain in order for them to, take action and try to harm to Real Madrid, stealing or signing some of the most promising players, right? But man, this is kind of, okay, what are you gonna do? What kind of super harmful move or action can you take against Real Madrid? It's pretty much nothing, because what we are doing and what we have been doing over the last years is pretty much to set up super high expensive release clauses to protect our players. Actually, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Benzema, all these players already have clauses of about 1,000 million euros. So it's pretty much impossible for them to sign any single player right now. So that's why every time we have a player with only 2 years contract left, what we try to do is to renew the contract for an additional 2 to 3 to 4 years or something like that, so PSG or any other super big, massive, super rich club or something like that can do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay, because if Jose Felix Diaz is claiming that they are going to try to take any action against Real Madrid, you have to be careful and all the stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be so harmful or problematic for Real Madrid or something like that. So that is pretty much what I brought for you in, guys, today. And yeah, the most important is pretty much that Carlo Ancelotti wants to Mbappe to fulfill his dream to play in Real Madrid. So tomorrow, guys, let me tell you what, we play against Real Sociedad, but I won't be able to watch the game because I will be flying to Spain during the game, which is funny. So I can't watch the game. So it's very likely that happen that I won't be able to upload any single video tomorrow. Probably Sunday, okay, I will be talking about reviewing the game and all the stuff, so I can upload my analysis and all the stuff, but probably for Sunday, not for Saturday. So have a great day, y'all, guys, and see you probably, like I said, Sunday. Now comment in the section below, and of course subscribe my channel, Real Madrid Hub.